Hi, good evening everyone. Vanakkam. Thank you so much for joining with us today. SMART, S-M-A-R-T. Yes, this literally has individual specific meanings for each and everything. Hope the slide which you see really will give you the better understanding what SMART is actually. So this session is going to literally take on and turn upon your way of thinking and your realistic feeling of your life, right? And again, we have Akash with us to go on with this webinar to probably take you on through the smart analysis and everything. So, good evening, Akash.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much, Akash. Probably we can just start on the session.
Yes. So, good evening, everyone. This is Akash again, and I'm a faculty at Vision Defense Institute. So, today we are going to see SMART. So, in this webinar, the moment I chose this topic, SMART, many of the people think me, what is SMART? What is SMART? SMART is SMART. What are you going to talk about SMART? SMART is something, as the dictionary goes, it is the way the people behave or the way be active or something like that. But it is an acronym. It says that specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So, why this is needed at this hour? So that comes to the next question. That is, why this is needed at this hour? So we all know that yesterday I gave a webinar. So in that I was telling about that everyone should have a goal. Every human being who is born or who is leading his life in this earth is having a goal or is having a vision. It may be anything. For example, the moment I get up, I think that today I have to read this many chapters. Or if I go for lunch, I think that today I have to cook biryanis or fried rice. So this would be my dream or this would be my goal, I would say in one point. So in that same way, every human being in the world, on earth, is something he's driven by some force and he is going towards something to achieve. So we are going to talk about the achievable point, that what that once he wanted to achieve the target, the goal which is being set up. For example, if a person believes that he wants to become an officer in the Indian Army and he sets up goal in that way, he sets up his goal that yes, I want to one day become an officer in the Indian Army, but he has to regroup his activities. He has to realign his activities in such a way that he fit into being an officer in the Indian Armed Forces. So that is called smart gentleman. So it's not only applicable only for the armed forces people, for everyone. For example, if you want to become an IT, IT people, or if you want to become a teacher, so you have to align your routine. You have to align your personality in such a way that you become a teacher before you have got an appointment. So people used to say that if you want to become a teacher, live like a teacher. If you want to become like an officer in the Indian Army, live like an officer in the Indian Army. So that's the way, gentlemen. If you want to become something in your life which you have thought, if you want to become an IAS officer, IPS officer, or IRS officer, the All India Services, which is known by this. So live like them before you go. So how to live like them? So what are the things which will define you? So that is called SMART. So SMART, as I told you, generally defines specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. First point is yes, physical part. So there is a famous quote saying that once your mind and soul are good, you can achieve anything. Yes, gentlemen. So first of all, we have to maintain our our body, our physical education, or meditation, or yoga, whichever we do, which will help us to regroup ourselves, which help us to conquer our thoughts. Because our thought is something which is the fastest moving in the world. There was a question from one of my friend that, buddy, do you know which is this fastest in the world? And I told him that our mind. Yes, gentlemen, our mind is something which goes very fast. It travels fast, faster than the speed of light. Just imagine it takes about 8 minutes for the light of sun to come to Earth, but it takes just a jiffy for us to imagine ourselves from Earth to the sun. So in that case, gentlemen, first of all, we have to shape our mind. Shape our mind in such a way that we go towards our goal. So in that way, first of all, we have to be physically strong. or mentally strong. So both happens. So if a person wants to become an officer in the Indian Army, he has to have his physical as well as mentally fit. So in that case, we have to first maintain our physique. So we all know that we have been locked down. We have the whole nation has been locked down. We have been confined to a single place in our home. So in that case, doing a physical education or doing a physical task for about half an hour, because we all know that there are about 24 hours in a day. So considering the 24 hours, just 20 minutes or 30 minutes is not a big deal to do your physical work. So start doing, either be a rising eagle who rises up early in the morning and do it, or in the late night in the sense late evening. Just have a physical exercise of half an hour. Just do push-ups or at least yoga, because yoga is a powerful medicine, which I could say that at this present moment. So conquer your thoughts, have a meditated mind, have your thoughts conquered so that you focus on one thing, that is only your goal. Right? The next one is we are going to see, yes, your mind. So I was talking about your mind, that we have to train our mind. We have to give our mind something which always, for example, if I want to become an officer in the Indian Army, I train my mind in such a way. I gather things. I gather things that I fit in that mind. So we are talking about the physical body. Physical body, once you're fit, you can become. But what about the mental mind? If you want to become an IAS officer, what about the mental mind? How would you train yourself? So in that case, train yourself by having your mental mind. So how that can be done? Simple. It can be done of various things like reading a book. It can be friction, non-friction, or anything, or even your subject books, so that you have your hold on any subject. You can have a hold on any subject. You can look around. You can gather things. You can tell about anything. For example, if you are if suddenly rain happens in Chennai during the November, you could easily say that. If you have read about geography, you can easily say that it is because of the northwest monsoon, northwest retreating monsoon. Or at least if rain happens during the month of June, you could easily say that it is because of the southwest monsoon. So it all things happen once you have a very good hold on your subject. All things happen once you have a very good hold on your things. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have to train our mind. For training our mind, we have to give the required input, as well as we have to we have to do the required output. So, how to do the output, sir? Simple, just penning down your thoughts. Whatever you read in your mind, just after reading anything, just be relaxed for 2 minutes and write down whatever just comes to your mind once you read a para or something else. Right? So, our training our mind and body is something very much essential to achieve our goal. The next most important thing is speaking. So the most important thing I would like to say is speaking skills. We all know the speaking skills, because communication is one factor which is defined by the dictionary or Google, is that if a person communicates something, if it is able to make other person, if he is able to make other person reliant, then he's known as a very good communicable person. If he makes other person to understand what he is going to tell, or what is has told, then it is called a good communication. So in that scale, you have to improve your speaking skills, because a person would have finished PhD, or he would have even got post PPG, that is postgraduate also, but sorry, post doctorate also. But still, if he could not speak in front of 10 people or 20 people in a gathering, he is a failure. So in that case, I would suggest everyone to have a very good speaking skill. First of all, speak to yourself. Speak to yourself how your communication is. Then speak to your friends. Then speak to your parents. Speak to the surroundings in front of you. Have an opportunity. Get an opportunity to speak to people. Motivate them. Get to know their experiences. So in that case, you can improve your communication, and at the end of the day, it will lead only towards your goal. So if you want, for example, I want to become an officer in the Indian Army, and once I become, I go there, I stand in front of my team, I stand in front of a troop, and if I could not communicate what the task is given to my men, I'm a failure there. So in that case, gentlemen, you have to communicate. So the communication factor comes only from you. Sir, how to, okay. The next question is how to improve our communication. Simple. Just read your newspapers, or read your books, or read your fictions, whatever it is. Sir, I don't get newspaper. No issue. Read the books which is in front of you. But while reading, just have a loud reading, because loud reading is something which will enhance our pronunciation, which will make our tongue to adjust or accustom to the words. Because just imagine how a small child, when he grows up, goes to master his mother tongue. It is because of his only his practice. In that case, gentlemen and ladies, communication is one factor which is very much essential in this present world. Because the present world, even if you have hard skills like you would have finished post doctorate, but still if you don't have your soft skills, you are not able, you could not stand in the world. So in that case, improve your soft skills. The next one, gentlemen and ladies, that is the dilemma position. So every human being in the world, once he goes towards the goal, for example, if you're cooking a biryani, you would come to a situation that whether I want to put 2 spoons of sugar, or I mean 2 spoons of salt, or 3 spoons of salt. So in that case, you have to make the right decision. The same way, if I want to become an IAS officer, I just go towards my goal. But at one point, I feel that even after facing, I would have failed many failures. Like I would have not cleared it in my first attempt or second attempt. But still, if I go towards my aim, there comes a question in myself that whether I could clear or not. So you should not have any dilemma in that. You should always be akka. You should always be sure in whatever you are aiming for. In that case, your mind, you should have a you should create a good dilemma that this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do something else. So the dilemma factor is something which will definitely affect people. The next most important is, yes, you have to be self-reliant. So resilient is something, as I already told you, how you overcome your failures, how you overcome the toughness, difficulties you face in life. For example, you have your aim is to become an something like an officer. You have to clear your CDS exam, but the first 2 attempts you have failed, you have lost it, you could not clear it. But how will you then comes a question in your mind, will I be able to clear the third attempt, or will I go and do I go and search some other job? So in that case, you have to believe in yourself, whatever it is. Because once if you want to become an scientist in ISR also, the first step, as as I usually says, will be the toughest. So you have lost 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, and fourth time also you could not clear the exam. No problem. Just analyze the areas where you went wrong. Just analyze the areas where you went wrong. Analyze the areas of improvement. Just improve on it and overcome your toughness and obstacles in front of you in a massive way. So in that case, believing in yourself is the only way which would enable you to move forward always. The most important one is thinking, analyzing, and reasoning. So as I already told you, for example, if want to become this like an officer, so you have to reason out where I am going wrong or where I want to improve my skills. For example, you don't feel good for 2 days, and you have to reason out what are the main factors which is not making you to move forward, which are the things which are making you slow. And ladies and gentlemen, there is something called that it is always better to go slow than to stop. So if you feel that I'm going very slow in my syllabus, no issue. Be happy that you're not stopped. But still, that one thing which I want to make you clear, that you have to reason out the things where you are going slow. So in that case, reasoning and analyzing is one ability where you have to be very strong. For example, I told you, if you could not finish, you could not clear your exams in first attempt, second attempt, analyze where you went wrong. Analyze the areas of improvement. So in that case, it is very, very important. The most important one is developing a hobby. Because a person who is just going in his preparation part, because I told you I have seen lots and lots of aspirants. Those people who are going in the preparation part always goes to only one phase. That is always goes towards only one mind, just having a book in their hand and preparing that. But they too should have a hobby, because hobby is something which we do in our free time, which enhances our mind, which regenerates our mind. So hobby is some one factor, gentlemen and ladies, you should develop. You should always do that. For example, if you are continuously reading for 2 hours, just get up from your place and go around, have a small walk, and come back again and read again. Don't feel that you are losing our time. And always, gentlemen, is something called gaining a time. So hobby is something which will help you to improve your soft skills also. Because your books, everything which you have in front of you, something which will improve your hard skills. But hobbies are something which will improve your soft skills. So have a hobby. Hobby is something which will regenerate you. Hobby is something which will help you to smile. Hobby is something which will give you the mind satisfaction. So not only that, it will make you enthusiastic. It will make you a new person. So do follow a hobby. Yes. So at the end of the day, it is all about your habits. All about your habits which you do. if you aim for having a six pack by the end of this year, then you have to adjust your habits in that way. You have to regulate your habits in that way. Habits. So habits is one factor. Jennifer. For example, you think that I want to quit, I want to get a six pack within this year, within this end of the year. Then you have to realign your hobbies, realign your habits. For example, if you have a urge of drinking, you have to stop that. So in that case, it is very, very important, gentlemen and ladies. So habits are something which will make you, or which will grow you up towards your goal. So habits is all about which will define a person. The next most important one I would like to highlight is the relationship factor. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that we human beings are social animal who used to communicate with people, who used to have a very good attachment with everyone in the world. So in that case, having a good relationship is very, very important. So sometimes relationship makes us tense, or sometimes it makes us happiness also. So friends, having a good kind of friends is something which will always motivate us. Not only friends, which having a peer group is something which will always motivate you towards your goal, to always have a positive thinking in your goal. So having a positive thinking is something which gives you an uphold of attaining your goal in a very good way. So having a good relationship is something you have to follow. So as I told in my previous webinars also, that you may get many suggestions that way, but it is the end of the day you have to take the right decision. So in the same way, you may get many people, because human is a social animal. He may come across many people in the world. Although, just imagine if you are in the mid 20s, and just think about the how many people you have come across right from your childhood. I would say it is more than 10, 1 lakh or 10 lakhs. So in that case, you have to choose the right person who would bring you smile, who would bring you happiness, and who will help you to achieve your goal. And there is something called giving back also. So giving back, because every person who meets each other will have a mind, which have a thought in their mind that yes, I have a very good friend, and I can develop a very good relationship with him. In that case, it is you who have to choose the right person in your life. Yes, last point, gentlemen, that is the time bomb. So everything just revolves on the time bomb. I want to I want to remind you a famous quote, famous story, that there was a small village, right? And a grand a boy of class 10, his name is Tarun, was talking to his grandfather. So his grandfather is in mid 60s to 70. He was in mid 60s, and the boy Tarun was having a very good cordial relationship with his grandfather, who used to teach him about various aspects of life, who used to tell about what to do in each point of it, because he's just a small kid of 10-year-old. So in that case, he used to tell him various stories. He used to tell him what happened during independence, what was there, how India was there, how things were there. So he used to say many interesting stories. But each night, whenever they go to bed, Tarun used to come to his grandfather and tell that, Grandpa, just wake me by 6 o'clock in the morning. I have my school by 7 o'clock. I have to get ready. So his grandfather happily and readily, he used to say that, no problem, Tarun, just go to bed, pa. I will wake you by 6. But Tarun always has a question. He that whenever he gets up 6 in the morning, he sees his grandfather getting ready with his jogging shoes, and he is ready for a walk. So then came a question for him, that at what time does his grandfather wake up? So he again asked him. So he woke up he just removed his blanket and asked him, Grandpa, what time do you wake up? And he says that, I wake up at 4 in the morning. And Tarun asked him, 4 in the morning. Can you tell me why do you wake up? Because sleep is something which is very essential. But Tarun grandpa came with a fitting reply that, yes, that's correct, Tarun, but still, I don't want to lose a second. I want to gain every second. I'm in my mid 60s. I don't want to lose any second. I want to gain every second which comes in front of me. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is factor. So, gaining a second is one factor which is very, very important. You may think you're not studying, suddenly you are doing something else like drawing, painting, watching a movie, something else, but still you are gaining a second by regenerating yourself. So, in that factor, gentlemen, time bound is something, because Time is something which wait for none. You all know that. The famous quote, tide and tide, time and tide wait for none. The same case, it is always better to gain a second whenever you do something. So if you are in preparation mode, if you are going to achieve your mode, achieve your goal, have a time mode that this is what I'm going to do within this, so that you pen down your, you cut down your, I mean, you achieve your targets and reach the goal. Yes, at last for the college and career. So it is you who has to choose your career. You should choose your career or the colleges which will help you to achieve your goal. For example, you want if you are thought of becoming an IAS, and you have to know at which group or which college or which sector which I join, which helped me to achieve my goal. You want to become an IT profession. Just imagine, just think what are the graduation, what are the course I have to take it. So it is you who has to analyze. We don't. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong if you don't know anything. But it is wrong when you don't ask to others and clear your mind. So in that case, gentlemen, ladies, just choose your, if you have chosen your goal, then choose your path. So that is what I want to conclude by saying that it is you who has to choose your path. The goal maybe goal is one, but it is always good to go in different direction and achieve your goal. But sees that the direction you take up won't take much time, and the decision which you have taken, you may, I mean, the decision may be right or wrong, but still at the end of the day, the decision should be yours. You may get many suggestions from your people, from many people about achieving your goal, but still at the end of the day, it is you who are to take the decision. So ladies and gentlemen, I conclude by saying that have a goal. So everyone in the human in the world is come up with a goal to achieve something, but be sure that what path you take and adjust yourself, align yourself so that you achieve your goal in a super strict manner. Thank you.